The customer brought the vehicle in with the complaint that the check engine light was on. After connecting a scan tool, I retrieved two codes: P0138 02 sensor circuit high voltage, bank 1 sensor 2, and P0139 02 sensor circuit slow response, bank 1 sensor 2. These codes indicate that the oxygen sensor B1S2 is experiencing high voltage and is responding slowly, both of which can lead to incorrect air-fuel mixture readings and off engine performance. To diagnose the problem further, I allowed the engine to reach its normal operating temperature while monitoring the live data from the scan tool. I observed that the oxygen sensor B1S2 voltage remained fixed at a high level, which indicated that the sensor wasn't responding properly. I then increased the engine speed to 2,500 RPM, but the oxygen sensor reading remained unchanged. I also snapped the throttle and again found that the oxygen sensor parameter did not change as expected, which confirmed that the sensor was not providing accurate feedback to the engine control module. Next, I created a large vacuum leak to simulate real-world conditions while monitoring the oxygen sensor B1S2 parameter. Despite the leak, the sensor reading remained fixed and didn't change, which further indicated a problem with the sensor's ability to respond to changes in engine conditions. To test further, I induced propane into the intake manifold to see if the oxygen sensor would react. The sensor voltage remained the same, confirming that the sensor was malfunctioning and not responding to changes in air-fuel mixture. I then performed a visual inspection of the oxygen sensor B1S2 wiring harness and found no visible damage. I disconnected the oxygen sensor connector and inspected the terminals, but again I found no faults. To rule out any electrical issues, I used a multimeter to test the oxygen sensor signal circuit for any shorts, but I found no shorts present, which confirmed that the wiring and electrical circuits were intact. Based on these findings, I determined that the oxygen sensor B1S2 was faulty and needed to be replaced. I replaced the faulty oxygen sensor, cleared the codes from the ECU, and performed a road test. After the test, I verified that the vehicle was operating properly, the check engine light remained off, and no fault codes returned. The key takeaway here is that diagnosing codes P0138 and P0139 involves checking the oxygen sensor's response to changes in engine conditions and ensuring that the sensor is providing accurate feedback to the engine control module. By using tools like the scan tool, multimeter, and testing the sensor's behavior under various conditions, I was able to confirm the sensor was faulty and replace it to restore proper engine performance.